Hi, and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. Stud? Homestead. You're the stud.
I'm flashing a lot.
Hi, and welcome to Rose Red Homestead.
Stud.
Stop. Hi, and my voice is changing.
Hi.
Hi, and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where on Monday we discovered a new place called Fry's Fresh Produce Warehouse. It's in Santa Clara, Utah, and we had the best time. Jim went hog wild shopping. Our new deal is that we're doing Discovery Mondays, and then on Wednesday we report back what we're going to do with what we've discovered. So what are we going to do with all that stuff you bought?
Well, we're actually going to end up making a vegetable beef soup. And today we ended up getting potatoes, the, golden potatoes?
Yukon Gold.
Yukon Gold potatoes, nice large onions, carrots. We got fruit and the lemons and limes and oranges, grapefruits, those kinds of things that we'll end up using for fruit salads.
So it was your idea to do this beef vegetable soup, or vegetable beef soup.
Vegetable beef soup, beef vegetable, however we're going to turn it out.
And so we stopped on our way home and got some really nice beef. So I'm going to go ahead then, since so these are the three things that we picked up while we were there on Monday. And so here's the meat.
That I went crazy getting.
Yes. And so we're going to go ahead and get started on our soup.
That sounds great. Wait, hold it. Got to do a flash.
Yes,
I'm a lightning flash person.
So we're going to have a flash sale.
A flash sale, yes, a lightning flash sale.
A lightning flash sale.
That's what it's called.
Okay.
This afternoon, between 4 and 6 p.m., Mountain Standard Time.
Okay, here it is, right here.
Mountain Time. And there are going to be two books this time around, Flash. The Amazing Qualities of, what's that?
The Amazing Qualities of Food Storage Corn.
The Amazing Qualities of Food Storage Corn.
What's the other one?
And the other one is...
24 plain and fancy protein bowl recipes.
That you and Cindy did.
Okay, so this is Cindy and Cindy.
Oh, it's Cindy and Cindy.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This one is my daughter, Cindy. Cindy was raised pretty much in El Paso. She graduated from high school there before she went on to college. And so she really loves the Mexican influence in our food that we ate there. And so we're, in this book, show some of the great qualities of food storage corn, including a lot of recipes that she knew, and homemade tortillas and that kind of thing. And then this book that you picked out is co-authored by sister Cindy, sister Cindy. And this was actually the very first book that we published. It's the number first book that we published, even though we started working on our big food storage book first. This one was, Cindy came up with this idea, and we got this one out before the big book out. So this was our first one, and this one is really a cool book too. I'm glad you picked these two.
Oh yeah.
This is cool. And so this one is 24 plain and fancy recipes, and these are protein bowl recipes. So the fancy part are 12 recipes that Cindy has listed here with fancy ingredients that you can buy locally in stores today. And the plain part was my part. I took her recipes and recreated them using ingredients that we might have on hand in food storage in case things go south and we don't have the availability of all of those fancy ingredients. So how much did you say these are?
$4 each.
$4 each, so that's half price.
It's half price.
Okay, I'm going to stick these up on the refrigerator while we do the rest of our...
that sounds good.
So...
Flash.
Bye, Flash. What a nut you are. Oopsie, we have to insert a little clip right here. In editing the video, I discovered that there's just a little piece missing. I think Jim and I both thought the camera was running when it wasn't, so I'm going to fill in just a little bit. So what we're going to do today is to make vegetable beef soup according to the USDA guidelines for using your own recipe. So this will be my recipe, and there are certain guidelines that need to be followed, and I will put a link below the description of this video so that you can go to healthycanning.com, and they have a wonderful explanation. It's more detailed than the one that you will find on the USDA. It fills in some missing pieces, and as long as you follow those guidelines, you can use your own recipe. So it's pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to this. One of the things that we have to remember when we do our own soup recipe is that we have to treat the ingredients just the way we would as if we were canning each individual ingredient on its own according to USDA guidelines. So the first thing that is going to happen as the video continues in just a second here is that I'm going to brown the meat. So we're following USDA guidelines because the only way we can safely can meat is to do a hot pack, which means it has to be pre-cooked, not all the way, but we'll just be doing a little bit of browning. So the video will pick up now as the meat is browning.
So this is what it looks like after it's been browned, pretty much.
So these are the three things that we got at Fry's, and Fry is spelled F-R-E-I. So it is Fry's Fresh Produce Warehouse in Santa Clara, Utah. So I'm going to go ahead and dump in the onions. And we bought 2 great big onions. This is only one of them. This is the entire bunch of carrots. And oh my goodness, they tasted so fresh. In addition to the meat, I'm adding corn that we did not purchase at Fry's. This was frozen corn that I have thawed. I have those Yukon Gold sitting in water. I'm going to now drain the water and we'll add the potatoes. Giving them another little rinse gets rid of some of the starch. And stir this up. And then I'm going to add some hot water. And to this mixture, I'm now going to add some bouillon cubes. 1 bouillon cube goes for 2 cups of water. I probably put about 2 quarts of water in there. So I'm going to be putting 4 of these oversized cubes in. Okay, and we're going to bring this to a boil and let it boil for 5 minutes. All we want to do here is to get everything heated all the way through. So we're going to get the canner started outside. We will come back when we are ready to load the jars. So see you then. I've added a little bit more water. I needed to do that if we're going to have 7 quarts. We may not quite get 7 quarts. We're going to fill the jars half full of solids, and then we'll see how far that goes, and then we'll fill it up with the broth. But now I'm going to put the seasoning in. It's coming to a boil, just barely starting. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of salt in. And here's about a teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. This is a teaspoon of thyme. Ooh, that smells so good. And one of my favorites, which is oregano.
And how much did you put in?
That was a teaspoon. I got rosemary out. I'm not sure that I'm going to use it. I'm going to set it aside for right now. And I have about a tablespoon of sugar just to sweeten things up a little bit. So I'm going to stir this all in, taste the broth after the spices have saturated and are mixed in. Ooh, it's smelling wonderful. It's all right for now. Actually, it needs more salt. But the other flavors are subtle and very nice. So I've put a total of about 2 tablespoons of salt in, which is just under a teaspoon per quart, which is about what we want. So that sounds good. All right, we will be back after this is boiled for 5 minutes. The buzzer just went off, so I am filling these jars about half full of the solids, setting them aside. Hoping to get a full sampling of the ingredients. According to the USDA, use your own soup recipe. If we fill the jars about half full with the solids and then about half full with the liquid, the solids, since they are not cooked all the way through, will continue to absorb liquid and swell, and by the time we're ready to have the soup, it will be just about the right ratio of solids to liquid. All right, I think that we are close enough. So let's start adding the broth, and the broth we fill to 1 inch from the top, 3 centimeters for head space, to give the food adequate room to swell if it is going to do that. So we'll be back when we get to that point. Double checking the USDA Can Your Own Soup recipe. It is 60 minutes for pints and 75 minutes for quarts. And we can do that because of the ratio of the solids to the liquids and because we have pre-cooked some of those things. So that is also good to know. Doesn't take as long as sometimes we might think. It's always good to double check a recipe. All right, we're going to go outside and get these in the canner. So I'm going to be putting the last 3 in. The water is simmering. All right, we're going to turn this up. And we are going to wait until we get steam venting from this vent pipe right here, a really good stream of steam. And we're going to time that for 10 minutes. That will expel all of the air from inside the canner and replace it with steam, which surrounds the jars, and that's exactly what we want. Then we will put the weight on top of here so hold the pressure inside so it can build. At our elevation of 5,000 feet, we pressure can at 13 psi. We keep it between 13 and 15. So we will be back when we are ready to put the weight on the top. I hope you can see this steam. This is about what we want for venting. It's been venting for 10 minutes, so I'm going to put the weight over the top. It's already up to almost 4 psi. So it needs to come over here to 13 before we can start counting. And then once it reaches 13, we will start the timer for 75 minutes, at which time then we will turn the heat off and let it cool down on its own and bring you back then when the pressure is all out of the pot and we're ready to take them out. So keep your fingers crossed. Here's hoping we have a great success. The canner has finished. In fact, it's been sitting here for about 5-7 minutes. We like to let it sit an extra 5 minutes or so. That helps reduce siphoning. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we haven't had siphoning, or at least major siphoning. You may hear some shooting in the background. We have neighbors who go down in the gully over there and shoot. So that's what it's like living in the country in southern Utah. All right, so I'm going to just check to be sure Yes, there is no more pressure coming out. So I'm going to take the lid off, turn it away from my face. And here is our soup. Oh, it looks wonderful. Just wonderful. Seven beautiful quarts of delicious veggie beef soup. And I know it's delicious because after we filled the jars and got the canner going, there was still a little bit of broth with some of the veggies left in the pan, and I had a taste and it is fantastic. It tastes just fabulous. And you know, there is just nothing like canning with ultra fresh produce, and that's what we have done. And it is very exciting for us. It feels, I have such a great sense of personal satisfaction that we are shopping local, farm to table, and that we have the advantage of having such fresh produce readily available for us down at that little store. So that's going to be, for certain, very high on our list for getting good fresh produce. But we're still in discovery mode. We've been talking about more places to go. So check back next week for Discovery Monday and then see how we turn it into something for Wednesday's video. Friday's videos will be not a regular basis for a while. We'll come back on Fridays sometimes, but it won't be every week. So thank you so much for being with us. We hope you join us on this adventure, that you might also find out in your own area where some local sources of farm-to-table produce or foods or other sources for things that will help us with food security. Oh, there just one just popped right there. That will help us build our supply with food security, self-reliance, and emergency preparedness. So thanks so much. Share our videos. We're getting lots of new subscribers. Welcome, welcome to our channel. We have over 600 videos. We hope you can find what you're looking for. Don't forget, lightning sale today from 4 to 6 Mountain Time. Be sure that you calculate Mountain Time relative to what the time zone you live in is. And the two books are The Amazing Qualities of Food Storage Corn and 24 Plain and Fancy Protein Bowl Recipes. Both excellent books now for 2 hours this afternoon on sale for half price. So go get them.